Hey, I'm Simone.
And I'm Jess. We're two long-distance best friends who are states away.
But our bond has never been closer. From spirituality to spirited conversations,
we're here to share them with you.
So welcome to Fly Talks.
Come fly with us for a bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to
Fly
Talks. Fly Talks. Y'all, I just did a shimmy, and I saw Simone shimmy, and it reminded me of I don't know if anybody watches Miss Netta, but she'd be like, Charles, your lunch is ready. And she shimmies.
I can never get into the Netta and Miss Charles thing. It feels exploitative.
It is exploitative, and I apologize.
It's okay, but it's entertaining.
No.
Oh. Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. Not. It's not nice.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't nice.
Okay. So to get on with the get on, we left off last time with a very vulnerable topic. We were talking about Simone's, I don't want to say fear, but fear and hesitation when it came to putting her feet back in the dating pool. Yeah. I personally think that now that we're dating kind of like almost for marriage and
God.
Okay, no. Okay, let's hear me out. You see? Okay, we're not dating for marriage per se, but we are not in our extra youth era where we miss the big red flags.
Yep.
We're closer to, our logic is more centered, and we are in a space where we're actually picking people of character, not for fun.
Yep,
right?
It's true.
So I think that in itself is a little intimidating because I think it highlights the emphasis of like this specific thing is important. So I wanted to ask you, because I know you're super transparent.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about like last episode, how when you date, right, you were like, it's kind of like I need somebody to be all about me, or I feel like they don't like me, right?
Yes.
So we were having a conversation about attachment styles.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to know, have you ever looked into yours? And what are you thinking about it?
Well, Jessica, of course I have.
To be you is to know you know. And I just asked it for the people.
Yes, of course. Yes. Anything that has to do with like personality type, attachment style, whatever it is, I've taken the test. I like these things.
For sure.
But I would say I have disorganized and anxious attachment. I lean more towards the disorganized attachment style because there's a mixed signal aspect to disorganized attachment that I definitely have. So it's characterized as having a strong desire for emotional or a romantic or emotional connection while also having a major fear of it. So that leads to mixed signals and self-sabotage. And that's definitely something that I can relate to. I can actually read them just so that people know. So there are 4 different attachment styles, and I actually had posted about this on my stories. I'd asked like what people think their attachment styles are. So there's 4 different ones. There's the anxious attachment style. The first one that is characterized as typically desirous of relationships and tends to give a lot and settle a lot to make a relationship work. When they feel threatened, they try to control the situation. The second, when I read this, I said, "Oh."
I know, once again, like everybody can't see, but it's Simone. Just know it's resonating. Go ahead, baby.
Exactly. 2, avoidant attachment style. Typically suspicious of relationships and intimacy in general. Tends to put distance between themselves and a partner. When they feel threatened, they typically withdraw from the situation. The third one is disorganized attachment. experiences both a desire and fear of relationships and intimacy simultaneously. Under duress, they may demonstrate mixed signals, appear to become dissociated, or they might become emotionally flooded and act out of unpredictability. And then the last one is secure. Enjoys relationships and closeness, but also appreciates alone time and separation. Does not feel an overwhelming fear of abandonment nor a fear of compromise or being over controlled or suffocated.
All right. And
Yeah.
you picked 2 of those.
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily try to control a situation. I think I'm quick to withdraw
Yes.
before like being like, so what are it's that unpredictability. That's really what it is. Like I can definitely relate to the emotionally flooded and acting out of unpredictability. But I do, you know what? I think I'm more disorganized than I am anxious. I don't
Okay.
see myself like settling for
Okay.
less. I don't
Okay.
settle or try to make it work. If anything, I'm like, I actually want to leave and get out of here.
Before
Yeah.
it blows up and before Okay, can I ask something?
Yeah, of course.
So I feel like, we were using the word last time, jaded, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know how they say like you turned her icy, like certain experiences will make a bitch cold.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think an actual experience has contributed to that, or do you think like kind of like I don't want to say nature versus nurture, but what do you think you would credit that feeling to?
I really do think it was the many experiences. I think I'd mentioned it in the last episode, but I've been in a lot of experiences where my emotions weren't really taken care of or respected. Also, like the one relationship that I had, I kind of like felt lied to. And so I think because of that, there is that level of like, well, I can't trust anybody now,
Yeah, absolutely.
So it definitely because I think at the core of me, I'm absolutely a lover girl, but I don't allow that to show because the last time I felt comfortable to show that it was like taken advantage of.
Okay. So my question is, now that we know what we know, right? And we also know that the desire for relationships still stands. We were talking about kind of like, what do you do in the middle ground and how do you figure out how to keep yourself while also giving, I don't want to say giving yourself away, but also, fighting the good fight of being in the streets.
Oh, I feel like that's the hard part. Like, I think it takes a level of practice. I think that's why, like, I have chosen to start opening myself up to dating because I won't know how to do that until I start trying to do it. You know what I mean? And there's a level of like, sometimes I feel like I be knowing a lot of stuff because I'm like intuitive. And so there's a level of like there's like a level of like pre-knowledge that I have. But in order for me to like really find that sense of self, I have to make sure that I establish it within me and continuing to establish it as I go out into the world and date new people.
So like, and I'm sorry, I know it feels like I'm like,
No, I like
question.
it. Please do. I'm into it. I was nervous, but I'm into it.
It's hot seat. I'm sorry. It's not. It's just literally because I've seen the growth and the evolution. So, and I also see a lot of people dealing with the same thing. We also had talked about like kind of being over aware, right? And
Yeah.
kind of being in this healing space and kind of like you already said, like you look through all of the emotional attachment. You already knew before I asked you.
Yeah.
Which means you're aware, you're doing the work, but when it's kind of scary because it's like you don't know. I don't want to say you don't know the work is complete until you match it, but it's like at some point you're gonna have to test that bitch and take it on the road. The lessons, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because I have a habit of intellectualizing my emotions and intellectualizing emotional things, it's caused me to forget like the feeling aspect of it. And considering that I am such a feeler, it's kind of like counterintuitive low key. And I think it's because it's my attempt to protect myself from the risk of emotional involvement with somebody new.
Yeah.
And so if I can be like, okay, these are all the possible outcomes that something can
Yeah.
be. And if I avoid this, this, and this, then I'll make this happen. But then it's like, but life doesn't always work that way. Also, like, regardless of if somebody is like the perfect person for you, relationships get sticky and there's problems and there's shit that people go through. And so, like, part of it is kind of just feeling your way through it and going through it. So I think that is a fault of mine, is because I'm so aware. Like, I think my hyper awareness definitely can be a blessing and a curse in a lot of aspects of my life, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you be knowing shit.
I'd be knowing shit. And so, like, I can see something and be like, I know exactly what's about to fucking happen. But also, like, that's also an issue because, like, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, like, I've had guys, I can read a nigga. Like, I can read men. Like, I'm just good at it. I know what I'm looking at. However, like, you don't have to tell every man that you're reading him, right? And you also don't have to say it. And so I have the habit of being like, you're this type of dude. And they're like, damn, why are you like judging me right off the bat? You know what I mean? Mind you, I'll be right.
Keep it in there, bitch.
Exactly. Like, I don't have to say it all the time. Like, and because that isn't like, that's all. Like, if that happened to me, I'd be very irritated. Like, even if a nigga was correct, even if he was like, he got me spot on. And this happened sometimes before, but it makes me like, who do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? And so,
Overanalyzing me.
exactly. And so, like, there has to be a level of grace that I give to the people that I'm dating, not to like treat me like shit, but like to give me a chance to show them show me who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about the concept of rejection? Because I think, like, a lot of people that I've seen dating, rejection feels personal. Like, I think that's like the hard stuff about women.
Absolutely.
It feels like I've met people who, you know, like in regular dating, right? Let's say you go on one date, it doesn't work. It doesn't mean it's you. It just, you don't mesh with that person. And I think I see women personalizing things not working and thinking it's a reflection of them. Like, where are you at in that space?
I think that's definitely something I'm working on, like, understanding. I know we'd mentioned this person before, Steve Harvey, and like there are some aspects of what he says that are problematic. But
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve. There are some aspects of what he says that are very like patriarchally centered. However, I do think the fact that like men can like hit on people and get rejected all the time, I think we should probably have that same level of like, you know, durability and like mental toughness to be like, okay, he don't like me. That don't mean I'm not likable. You know what I mean? Or we don't mesh well. That doesn't mean that I won't mesh with anyone.
So we're bad bitches used to being pursued.
Yes. That's literally what it is.
All right. Period.
Bad bitches, we like to be desired, and we want to have the option of saying no. And that's that's an easier approach to dating, but it's not always the most realistic because you ain't gonna match with everybody. I mean, you might match with multiple people. However, not everyone's gonna be your cup of tea, even if they seem like they were your cup of tea in the beginning.
I think that's kind of like the challenging part. And I could speak for myself in saying, like, when things don't go well, so I'm, you know, not to brag, but I have taken the security test and I am, what do they call it? Not normally attached, but like securely attached. I'm securely attached. I have acted in ways that do not reflect that. But
I was about to say, girl, did you? But then again, now, who you are now.
No, and honestly, like who I am now, and it resonated because the questions were kind of like, okay, do you feel like somebody going elsewhere or doing something is a reflection of you? How do you feel if somebody spends their time elsewhere? Like, it just kept coming back to that. And I think it kind of just lands, or I land in the space of just realizing exactly what you said last time, which is, if nobody got me, I got me.
Period.
And I think we say that, but I don't think we maneuver that way. Because if we had, and I don't want to say if we had the sense of self, because it comes off as a judgment to ourselves, but I do think self-esteem is the center of these attachment styles.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, okay, but it's hypocritical too, because it's also just like, okay, you can be so confident in being alone that's what makes you guarded and unable to kind of mesh with somebody. So, girl, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
no, yeah. Wait, what do you mean? Why you say I don't know?
No, I mean, like, thinking that, like, trying to explain it in a way that, like, I know everything about attachment styles, but just saying, like,
Well,
you know?
yeah, no, I think that makes sense though. I think at the core of it, you do have to be, you're still an individual in your relationship. You don't lose your individuality in when you partner up with someone. And so I think those styles themselves kind of like for example, with the avoidant person, right? Like there's still that level of connection that you have to somebody. Just because you don't feel some type of way, or you're, overwhelmed by the relationship, that doesn't mean you withdraw. You communicate with your partner. You know what I
Ooh.
mean? And if you don't have communication skills, or you feel like communicating doesn't get you anywhere, and you rather withdraw, that speaks to what you think about how you communicate. With the anxious, you're putting all of your emotional fulfillment, you're putting all of your happiness into someone else. Why do that when you can find happiness for yourself first? And of course, these take time to develop, of course. Disorganized, it's like my struggle with like feeling like I'm lovable or not, or feeling like this person is actually there for me, wanting them to prove it to me, but then not wanting to put too much of my energy. And because if they do, then you know I could they could break my heart, so then I want to leave, but then I really like them, so I want to get. So it's like you have to have a level of like you have to have a solid base in your relationship as an individual. Like we hear all these things, that person completes me, they're my other half. It's like, all right, like that was so cute back in the day when I heard that at weddings. I was like, oh my god, like, two halves make a whole. And it's like, no, baby, like two wholes make an empire.
Ooh. Ooh, girl. T-shirt. That's cute as fuck.
Ooh, t-shirt idea.
Two hoes make an empire.
Two holes make an
Yeah.
empire,
Yeah,
baby.
nigga.
Period. Yeah.
No, I think it's so funny that you say that. Like, I think we are, once again, like the over analytical generation of millennials, but also I think the first people to kind of really look at ourselves and kind of figure out what we can or cannot do and how that factors into a situation.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking that life just happens to us, because it doesn't. Well,
Yeah, in some ways it does. Life does happen outside of our control, but of course, we have the ability to control how we react to
how
those
we
things.
react. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find love to be this complex thing that we all want, but it's so important that it can, like, I guess what I'm learning is not to romanticize it and catastrophize it as well.
At the same time.
Yeah, because you think like you've been through, I don't want to say you've been through worse, but I can speak for myself. I've been through some shit.
Mhm.
And you don't want me, I'm gonna have to be okay. You know?
Yeah, and I value that, like the way that you approach relationships is like you have this ability to you're just well-rounded in that sense, and I think because you know that like love is out there for you, you still have that level of like you're able to realistically approach relationships while also creating space for the unknown at the same time. You know what I mean? I think you have that quality. I definitely see that in you.
What do you think contributes to what you feel, and how do you think you can resolve it within yourself?
I really think it's about like literally hyping myself up and acting in that. You know what I mean? I think I'm starting to shift after my trip to Miami for Carnival. I really feel like I am starting to make that shift
Mm. Mhm.
and walk in my like power
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
my ability and my beauty,
Yeah.
and recognizing that, like, of course people would like me. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
more people where that one person came from, where those 3 people came from, because clearly
Mm.
your girl can get options.
Yeah. I like, ooh. Okay, so we had done, yeah, that makes sense. That
Mhm.
episode, when you were talking about bullying and you were talking about the things that you've been through. And I think it would be remiss if we didn't think that that played any part in terms of how you, one, see yourself, two, you react to love in general, or three, just your trust of people.
Yeah.
So how does that factor in? Like, that's a specific part that you're rebuilding within yourself.
Yeah, I think I internalized a lot of the bullshit I heard growing up,
Mm,
and it became less of an external thing of how people felt about me and more about how I felt about myself.
mm,
Like, I don't know, like, I think I was talking to my therapist about, like, dating and stuff, and I was like, "I feel like I just didn't date in LA." Like, I said that a lot, like, nobody hit on me, nobody hit on me, nobody hit on
mm,
me. She's like, "Is that
mm,
true for real? Do you think people were actually hitting on you, but the way that you viewed relationships and men and how they reacted to you and all these things, like, you were kind of guarded?"
mm,
And so I think because of that, my experience has just been very, like, it's been tainted in that sense. And my thoughts about myself have been tainted because of those experiences of how people treated me and, like, what I felt about myself. I internalized a lot. And so I think it's just about redefining those core values,
mhm,
um, like, breaking things down to build things up. Like, I mentioned this before in an episode, but in the tarot deck, there's a card called the Tower card, and
mhm.
I'm always talking about this card.
Period.
It essentially says something has to be broken down, regardless of how fortified it looked, how high up it was built. It has to be broken down because the foundation is shaky, and you
Mm,
got to get to the root to build up on top of that same surface. And so I think I'm at this point in my life where I am, like, breaking down a lot of mindsets that were stopping me
mm,
from, like, getting what I know I am meant to have. Because, like, in my heart of hearts, like, I know I'm meant to be somebody's wife, and I'm
period.
meant to be the mother of somebody's kids living a beautiful soulmate life.
Mm, mhm.
However, if I'm standing in my own way,
Yeah.
how will I ever get to it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like that fear is the fear of thinking you can't rebound from
Yes.
something. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like, it puts everything on that person of, like, I was talking to one of my best
Mm.
friends and I was saying, like, we also have to remember, like, I could also not like you. Like, I think as women,
Period.
we show up and we're like, is he gonna like me? Is she gonna like? And it's like, you are also a part of this experience.
Absolutely.
Um, and walking, like you said, in your power and your beauty and your worth is knowing that these are two people determining if you're aligned, not determining if you're worth it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Aligned. Like, yeah.
That is such a good point. You are determining if you're aligned, not if you're worth it.
Oof. Yeah.
And we attach our value to our lovability or our compatibility with others,
Yep.
when really it's about finding the person that you're, like, at least in that same realm with. Like,
Mm.
I'd mentioned it a little bit in the last episode, and I'm glad that we're talking about this more because I wanted to bring it up. That
Yeah.
level of, like, discernment.
Yep.
Like, is this person aligned with me on on these base levels? And I think if we are so focused on being chosen and wanting love, we often are misaligned because love is the over our, like, not even love. A
Mm.
relationship is the
Ooh.
overarching goal and not compatibility and alignment.
That is so powerful because terminology as you grow older is sticking. So
Yeah.
like for me, I'm finding like the labels important: girlfriend, wife, um,
Yeah.
companion. We're in that era of wanting to be, and everybody's different. Like everybody doesn't want to be a wife or a mother, and
Right.
shout out, like I get it. But whatever it is that you want, I think being fixated on that title, like you said, versus the person is where a lot of us kind of get into this mind warp because it's like,
Yeah.
I know I've been in situations where I'm like, I'm not somebody's like, side piece or whatever. I'm a girlfriend. And it's like, or you could be dating this man and girl. And I say man because that was back in the day when I didn't really know myself.
Right.
The gay me, I mean, I be fucking up, but the gay me, she a little more.
Yeah, she know what the fuck going on.
She know what's going on. But back in
Yeah.
the day, honey, um, just really like hyper focused on being claimed versus being treated right.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh. If that is not like one of the most common
Ooh.
scenarios that women end up in, it's like we want to
Mm.
be claimed.
Mm.
And I think if we really sit back and look at the connections that we have with the people that we're dating, we really notice like, okay, respectfully, if you're in line with somebody, claiming you is the least of
Yep.
your worries.
Yep. Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
a person who is about you ain't gonna let you question it, not even a bit.
And that, ooh, ooh. Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you go ahead.
And this once again goes back to God. And even what I had said in the last episode is that spirit of confusion is not where you're supposed to be. Like you don't know whether or not somebody like wants you is the bare minimum of like, what the fuck? We grown
We're grown
as fuck.
as fuck. And
Hard ass.
you mean to tell me
You don't know.
you don't know?
You don't know. No, you don't know. Oh, I hate that shit. Oh, I hate it. I don't know.
And
Oh,
this
I
is
hate it. I
my
don't
thing
know.
too. The crazy thing is a lot of these niggas, and I'm sure a lot of these bitches too,
Mm.
will still be around you and reap all of the benefits of your
Yes.
connection and your devotion and care for them while also still not being sure. So yeah, sure, they're showing up. Oh yeah, we're hanging out. Oh yeah, we do all these things. But if he can't so much as claim you, if she can't so much as say, you know what, I'm here and I'm locked in with you, they can't verbalize it.
You already know. What and damn, Yana is really that bitch because
Right.
she said, "What are
Love
you
you.
pretending?" Hey, sis.
Honestly, something's gonna happen with Iyanla and
I
us.
feel it.
I
That's
feel
my
it.
bitch.
Yeah, we
She
locked
don't
in.
like
Don't say
being
that.
called a
Don't
bitch.
say.
I
Yeah,
know
don't
she
say
don't
that
like
about her.
that.
She actually hates
Queen.
that.
I know.
She actually hates that. she got us.
Sorry.
She got us somebody ass about that.
Don't
Actually,
call me that. She got somebody asked about almost
a
everything
lot.
you can say. But
But yeah,
she said every time somebody's like kind of going through a thing or like situation, she always says, "What are you pretending not to know?" And
mm,
that shit,
I love when she
what
says
are you pretend? Discernment.
no.
You're asking like even my last conversation, like, what are you pretending not to know? You hear it, you see it. You
Yep.
feel like and you kind of said it before, like you the right person, you're not going to feel loved exactly the way you want to. Somebody's going to have to adjust for you, but you know the difference between an unwilling person and somebody that you just supposed it's not supposed to be that hard.
It's not.
It's
It's
and
not.
I've learned that it's not supposed to be that hard. And we're talking about dating. You questioning out the jump, bro? Nah. Miss
Boo.
me.
Boo. Miss me
Ooh,
with that. Boo.
tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Tomatoes. Yeah, man. Like I think that's like a something that I am like keeping in mind as I open myself up to dating is that if there's a level of questioning there that happens, like that's a red flag, you know? Of course you can ask for clarification about things if you're
Yeah.
in that like type of dynamic with someone.
Yeah.
But when you're questioning something, it's because your intuition knows. Like, I think that is like a message from God, like telling you, okay, this person is not for you. And I said this to one of my homegirls. Shout out to Bria Simone. I love you.
Hey.
We were like talking about intuition, and she was like, I don't think, she's like, you're not really that like clued into your intuition. And I was like, no, it's actually not that. I'm very locked into my intuition. I don't listen.
Woo.
I haven't. I'm not speaking that now because I have my intuition. I have been very locked in to that
Absolutely.
much more recently. And I've always been intuitive. But for the sake of wanting things to work, I will be like, that's enough, you. Like, I remember one time in a moment, and this is like, I'm sure we've all been there. So please
don't judge me. And now on
also random. My next door neighbor one day was playing that song over and over.
No, please.
And I'm like, what did he do? What happened? What happened, sir?
Please.
Anyway.
No. Fucking anyway. That's funny.
So I'm like, why are you
That's so specific.
That's so specific. He must have fucked up. And she was like, I don't know what happened.
He's fighting demons.
He's fighting demons. For sure fighting demons. But I was going over a guy's house, right? It was for a late night, whatever. And I told him I was on the way, but like he stopped texting me back. And so, but in my mind, I'm like, I want to see him. So like, wake up. Like I could be like, wake up. Like I call him, I text him, did not respond. But my stomach was in knots driving.
Ooh.
Like my stomach was like literally was like, turn around, bitch, turn around. Like turn around. Turn around. What are you doing? Turn around. And I was like, I want to see, like literally it's like this battle happening in my head. Of course, he ended up like, it was so dumb. Like he actually didn't even like, I had to hit him up the next morning. It was obviously
young shit.
It was, I mean, actually, whatever. You ain't gotta talk about it.
Yesterday. It was actually yesterday, but
it might have been in 2023, but I will say spiritually, I've probably aged like 5 years in the past like 9 months.
Absolutely.
I'll say that. But I wasn't listening to my intuition. And I think if more of us, we must connect to our intuition, especially as women, because it is a direct gift from God. Like, I really mean it. We are intuitive beings, regardless of what your like spiritual path is, regardless of what you believe or not. But we have that. Women's intuition is a thing. And the more we connect to it, I think the more we can live a life that is aligned with our highest good, including the love that we attract.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. I think like it keeps reminding me, someone that we know, tell you offline, but used to say all the time, like what's for you is for you. And I think like being like, I'm a teacher. I've been in like different like fields and different ages, but when you're in a kindergarten, like let's say elementary, I'm middle school now. There's these quotes that are on the wall that you like are like, oh, this is so like Dr. Seuss, but they're the defining factors of like things you should know, and we don't remember, like who you are is enough, whatever. But what's for you is something that I used to hear just like I used to see it, and it would be like, okay, but we kind of think, okay, we didn't answer that phone call, we didn't say the right thing. It won't miss you that easily. It's not you. Like it won't if you saying taking a step to the left makes you miss your whole entire blessing, it wasn't for you.
It wasn't for you.
God don't move like that. It's not a landmine. Like,
That's
it's
so
not a
true.
landmine. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so true. And those are like core values and mindsets that are like instilled in us, but like the more fog and craziness and chaos that comes into our lives, we often forget those.
Yeah.
And so literally a lot of adulthood is unlearning a lot of crazy things that
Yeah.
were like embedded in us due to our experiences and remembering those pillars,
Yeah.
you know? And like that goes for like, and I feel that's very relevant to just like what I'm dealing with like some of the people that I'm dating right now. Like, yeah, there are people that I like, but like if it is aligned,
Yeah. You won't
it'll
have to
work.
do much.
I won't have to do much. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like there, like once again, there has to be alignment there. And I think also God puts people on our paths to learn these lessons, to know who is aligned with us and who isn't. Like, I think I said this, we're kind of repeating shit low key, but it's reference points.
There we go.
But y'all need to go listen. This is episode 9, by the way. So y'all, if y'all just now, this is your first time listening, you got 8 more. Run it back, mama. But there was a tweet that was like, I really hope the next person that God puts into my life is like my forever person because I can't deal with more disappointment. And I responded like, this is the thing, like I feel this way too, but like, have we learned the lessons yet?
We did say that. And
Yeah.
it's so necessary to expand on.
Yeah.
It's so necessary because what is the lesson? I don't want to say, okay. So like asking your lesson is kind of personal because we all have ours, but do you feel like it's sticking? Like
I do now. I feel like it's beginning to stick. Like I was someone who gave a lot of myself and put my emotional fulfillment on other people and like wanted that level of like devotion and like dedication to me in a way that was unhealthy. So it really is about, okay, establishing the trust in myself, that love for myself.
Can we go there with acknowledging things are unhealthy within ourselves? Because
absolutely
that blame game shit, it's gonna tire you out, mama. Like and there's people who are just not for you. But once again, your accountability is when you don't leave. Your accountability, like there has to be that part of you that's willing to like. So like with teaching, I keep going back to this, but they say you give a quiz, right? And let's say 80% of the students failed. It's how you teach. It like it's how you teach. It sucks that they failed, but something about how you went about this, it's not connecting.
Yeah.
So if it was the opposite, an 80 passed and 20 passed, the outlier would be you didn't study. But we got to look at these numbers and start looking around.
Being like, am I the drama?
Am I the drama?
Am I the drama? Is it me? Listen, I have fully had to recognize that I have been the drama. In a lot of scenarios, I would be like, why don't you talk to me all the time? What are you doing? You say you want me, but then you don't even talk to me. Like, are you even talking to me? It's like, okay. Also, I mean, my jaw was like 24. So my frontal lobe wasn't developed. You feel me?
Girl, I was begging at 24. Girl, don't.
I was like, where are you? I need you. Like, so a lot of it.
16 to 24 was dancing in the rain on some Usher shit.
It was some Usher shit. It was real bad. So granted, like part of it is a level of like growth that needs to happen developmentally.
Absolutely.
So like that is true, but also like how much time am I putting into myself? Like I think that's the biggest thing. My biggest lesson is like, what are you dedicating to you first?
Yeah.
And as you continue to dedicate, best believe that as you elevate and grow, you're going to attract more like-minded people, and that includes your man.
Girl, I don't know. I feel like I'm in that era, like that listening era now too, of like
Yeah.
really being humbled to realize, kind of like what I said, I think the biggest thing I'm learning is it doesn't have to be that hard.
It doesn't.
It shouldn't be that hard. Like, especially we're not married, we're not in the thick of anything. And they say like, I think they say like 6 months, honeymoon phase, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Why are you miserable out the jump? Why are you begging for him to talk to you confused? We're on day 6. This should be easy. So if there's anything that's like you're questioning, it's just not sure. And if it's supposed to be, it'll be, but do not get on that person's phone and ask them why you're not enough for them.
Baby.
Oh, it frustrates me to see. I hate it. I've done it, but I hate it.
Of course.
Oh, you're enough. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you that.
It's literally not your business if I'm enough or not. If we're being honest, if we're being so real, the only person who really matters when it comes to if I'm enough or not is me.
We pointing up, y'all. You know this is Fly Talk.
This is Fly Talk.
Big God. Big God.
Once again, we are made in God's image, right? We are reflections of divine power. And if somebody ain't seeing that in you, that is not your person. And I mean that with 150%. Some people are okay with settling. Some people are okay with not having that complete like soulmate connection for the sake of convenience. I get it. Not everybody wants that. But for those who do and are searching for, I think if anything, like, oh my God, your nose is whistling. Do you hear it? I'm not gonna lie.
Y'all. I'm sorry.
It was whistling in the last episode.
Oh my God.
Said, oh my God, whistling nose ass.
I'm so sorry. I'd be so congested. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Seasonal allergies, you know. Sorry, y'all.
The seasons are changing.
Period.
But oh crap, what was I saying?
Damn, it is whistling.
Yes, it is whistling.
Every time I breathe in. Oh shit.
It's okay.
Okay.
What was I saying? Yeah, I can't. I can't count on you to jog my memory because baby, you be in the moment. But yeah, we were made in God's image. We are a reflection of like divine power, and yeah, some people don't want that level of like soulmate connection, but those who do, I think that's what I was saying. Your first soulmate is actually yourself.
Oh yeah, I love her.
You have to have that. Yeah, you got to have that locked in ass relationship with yourself first.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like, and I mean that, like, you have to spend a lot of alone time with yourself, talking to yourself, journaling, professional help. Like, you know what I'm saying? A mental health professional, spiritual advisors, like whatever it is, you have to cultivate a solid locked in relationship with you because your soulmate within you, your higher self, that's really what it is. It's your higher self, is your like soulmate you. She's not going to steer you wrong. She's going to put you exactly where you're meant to be. She's going to help you learn the exact lessons you need to learn to live the purpose-driven life that you want to live.
Purpose-driven life. I remember that book.
I know that book. I think everybody, if you have a Christian parent,
girl, I got 2 versions of that shit.
Exactly.
One came with a journal.
Exactly. Yes, the journal one, the journal prompt one. Hell yeah.
But no, it really still is a reflection of like, no matter how you look at it, you are meant to be here. You're meant to be, I don't want to say with someone. If that's your desire, it is. But we have to think of like, sometimes I have to remind myself, if what you're looking for is that rare connection, why would it be so easy to find? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would it be every person you spoke to? That's not It doesn't make sense. Like, you know?
That creates like a frame of reference as well.
Mm.
Especially if like you want that rare connection and you're like a rare person. Like I believe, to be honest, I'm special.
You should believe that
I am
shit.
a special bitch. Like I really am not. Like I'm very different and I'm unique. And I feel like there's not everybody is unique. And not to
Yeah.
compare myself to others, but like if I'm already so unique
Mm-hmm.
and I want that rare unique connection with someone else, it is going to take learning lessons and building and rebuilding and finding yourself and loving yourself and trusting God and trusting the process to find that. And that's not an easy thing for any of us to go through.
It's just there's so many things to put into perspective.
Yeah.
That for sure is one of the things that are just coming clear to me is like, if you want a regular, degular shit, then jump on the first thing you see. I don't know.
Exactly, because I mean, people are everywhere. There's someone always looking for a relationship. I mean, look at Love Is Blind. These people are in the pod looking for like romance
Love.
and will fall in love. You feel me? People want to feel something. You said it last
Mm-hmm.
episode. They just want to feel something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can find it if you just want to feel something, yeah. But if you want something that's solid, that is beautiful, that can grow with you, that can grow with your soul, that you can like live your most amazing life with,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna take time. And it's gonna take you making sure that you have that connection with God and with yourself.
And if like, hold on, Oscar's
Mhm.
scratching at the door.
Mhm.
Do you want to wrap up and get ready for part 2? Like leave off on a
What time is it?
cliffhanger? No, not time wise, just in terms of like the conversation.
Yeah, well, oh, duh, forgot because we can just skip to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think we have like a little bit more in us.
I think we do too. I love where we're going with this. This is
Me
beautiful.
too.
Yes.
But I think another thing that is like reframing my mind is once again, you're looking for authentic connection. You're looking for something rare and deep, but you're
Mhm.
also looking for something that's supposed to last forever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do not rush that person? Because we're 30. Let's say you live to 99 and you settled on somebody because you were 30. And now
Ooh.
you are 99 and you're with somebody who was like 2 people away from who God had you for. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, like it's like we really have to think we don't span out. And I don't either. Shit, it ain't. But it's like that really ability to span out and be like, okay, it seems so slow now, but that shit, that person, if they're what you say they are, you're
Yeah.
gonna have kids with them, you're gonna go through life with them. You will want to, you literally should be trying to find the person that you can do life with, not the person that wants to claim you today.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, you have to look at it in the grand scheme of things because otherwise we're going to find what is it? Very permanent solutions to like temporary
Ooh.
right now issues. Like that desire to be loved, often we want that to be satiated like immediately, so we don't do a lot of like processing and like vetting and
Mm.
figuring things out because we want to scratch the itch.
We got to talk on our next episode about, it just reminds me of that part of Love Is Blind where she was on her knees, like so disappointed, but also so relatable in the sense of like, oh my God, like, can this be it?
Yeah.
Can this be it? And then you're watching it and you're like, girl, you can do better than this. But she
Yeah.
doesn't have another heartbreak left in her. And that's how we all can look sometimes when you're with
Right.
the wrong person, you know?
Yeah. 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 And the pain of a heartbreak is so debilitating sometimes. And so like I think we've all been there to be like, I don't know how much I have it in us. Like, I don't know how much I have left in me. I think that's also why you have to, like, I think it's a lesson to learn in that. Like, you have to learn from it, like, recognize the things, even if you feel like you were perfect and they were the worst. You know what I'm saying? Do that, like, take that time to reflect in yourself. Where did you miss certain things? Where did you stay a little longer than you should have? Where did you not ask the right question?
Yeah. And you may not be I've been the worst to some people.
Mhm.
Like, some people have caught me, unfortunately, at my worst.
Yeah.
And it's like that also acknowledgement that, like, they say the pendulum swings. Is like people who caught me mid or pre-healing era, they gonna watch this and be like, bitch, I know you're not.
You. Right. I know she's gonna say what?
I know you're not talking.
I got a couple people I done
But
broke their hearts. Poor babies. I am so sorry, baby. I was underdeveloped. I really was. I was not. We wasn't there yet. We wasn't here yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not. Nope. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Sure. But it needless to say, we all go through like these eras of ourselves, and the biggest part is acknowledging that you're always going to be growing. But yeah, I think we got to run this number 3.
Oh yeah.
And y'all will receive it.
Y'all will receive it.
Y'all will
We'll
receive
get
it.
there. This is such a vast topic, and there's so many like angles to, approach this from. And so this is just one angle, and I hope that this resonates. I hope that I am learning to feel more secure in my own process with opening myself up. And I think with having these conversations, while it's happening in real time, is, not only very honest, but it is a level of like healing and understanding, like an additional element of understanding that I'm gaining for myself, because I know what I want. I know what I deserve. I know what Jess wants. I know what you deserve. And I think we all know what we deserve at the heart of hearts. And if that is something that you're questioning, definitely do the work. Do the work to realize that you do deserve exactly what it is that your heart desires.
Well, thank you for your transparency, per usual.
Of course. Thank you for always knowing exactly what to ask. And I feel always so comfortable with you to share on this space, and I feel comfortable with y'all listening. Thank you for listening.
Hey. Well, we love you, y'all. We will catch you at episode 10.
Episode 10, guys. That will be our last episode for our first season.
Oh shit. Yeah. All right. There it is.
So definitely rack them up now, baby. So if you haven't listened, we got 8 more episodes before this. We got 1 more after this. And yeah, thank you for being along with us on this journey. Of course, also send us questions and recommendations to our email at flytalkspodcast.com, because this is a community, and we want our fly talkers right here with us.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye. Mwah.